What's up, ladies? Welcome to another episode of To the Core, my revitalized womanhood podcast for Fridays, where I talk about all things beliefs, bonds, body biz, my 4 core categories. To the core. Hang on, sorry, I think my microphone might be a little too much. Let's turn that down a little bit. Anyway, hopefully you're not picking up too much of this breeze. It's gorgeous. This breeze is amazing. It's like 90 degrees here with some humidity, but it's actually very beautiful. We are in Ocotal Beach. I don't know if that's how you say it. We are in Ocotal Beach, Costa Rica. That's where we are. And so you can see we're in this like really beautiful bay right here. You can see if you're watching on the YouTube. But here we are, another episode from Costa Rica. This is so fun. So fun. It's really funny that my topic today came to me like perfectly because it's what I'm struggling with. It's what I'm going through in my life right now, and it's balance and alignment, or alignment and balance. Whatever comes first, the chicken or the egg, right? Or are they synonymous? Are they the same thing? I don't know. But anyway, we've just been down at the beach. We've been doing some snorkeling, tide pools. I said to my husband and my mother-in-law yesterday, it was so funny. I'm like, do other people go to the tide pools like you people do? Because I had never done it before I met his family. But that's not saying anything because I had never seen the ocean until I was like 14. So I said, is this a normal thing? Because we were all walking, the whole herd of us was walking towards these tide pools that connect this beach to like a little island out there during low tide. And we're walking out there like, you know, going off to really do some work. Oh, sorry, that was a loud alarm, heaven's sakes. Anyway, we're going off and people are watching us go and we have a mission. I mean, we look like we are going to do something on a mission, and I wonder if people look at us like, what are they doing? Why are they walking towards those rocks? Do they know that the beach is this way? Do they know that the ocean is this way? But they're walking towards those dangerous, terrifying rocks that would cut and hurt them, right? So anyway, let me know. I'd love to hear if you guys do the tide pools the way that we do the tide pools. It is not a vacation unless we have pulled some kind of creepy crawly amazingness out of the ocean to explore and look at, and I wonder if that's how you guys do it as well. It's honestly, I'm really excited to release the episode with Trish Mickler because we talked about this. We talked about the idea behind the concept behind homeschooling versus, I mean, it's not even versus world schooling because it's really the same thing. It's really the same concept, I guess. However, I know there are people out there that homeschool in a much different way, and they are more structured and into more of a like you would in school type structure. I don't know. But for us, I think it's funny when we get the questions, do you homeschool your kids? And it's like, well, my kids learn the languages, like not the full languages. They learn hello, goodbye, please, and thank you in all the countries they go to. They learn so much about ocean life because in every country we go to, we visit the tide pools. Like I said, we visit the ocean. They learn about all of the historic landmarks, you know, like Stonehenge and Montserrat and Mont Saint Michel. Is that how you call that, right? Sorry, I put myself on the spot right here because this is not even what I was going to talk about. But anyway, it's world school, right? It's what I feel like my kids should know going into adulthood. I feel like they should know these things and be introduced to the different kinds of cultures, and then they can choose later on what they want to do, what they decide to do as far as a career. And hopefully us teaching them these things and showing them these things and showing them the difference in its currency exchange, showing them the difference of communicating with people in different languages, even though you don't know the language, how important it is to maybe learn the language, right? I think they are learning so much more than they could possibly ever learn sitting at a desk. You know, I'm sure I'll get some comments on that one, but for my children, this is what we do. But they also go to school, you know, they're in a charter school. When we're at home, they go to school too. So I see the benefits of both, but I also, No, traveling is way better. Traveling and showing them the world is way better, I think. But I digress. I'm sorry. That's not what I'm here to talk about. But it does kind of go on topic, because for me, I'm thinking about it as in my own personal experience as far as alignment and balance. Since I've started this community, since I've started this podcast, I think of it as, how can I find that balance, that alignment, and what is that even? Let's start there. What is balance? What is alignment? I mean, literally, I know what they are. I know what balance is. I know what the word alignment means. What does it mean to me, though? So when you hear people talking about it, like life coaches or whoever, coaches talking about, are you in alignment? Do you feel like you have balance? Or you will be successful when you have balance, or whatever. But does that resonate with you? What does that mean to you? I want to know. I want you to stop and think and take that internally and think, what is alignment for me? What does that look like? What does that feel like? What is balance? If my life were in balance, what would that look like to me? What would that feel like to me? So I want to read to you. I've got my phone right here and ready to go. And I will start with alignment, because I think for me, I said what's first, the chicken or the egg, but for me, I think alignment would be first, because I don't think you can be in balance if you're not first in alignment. I kind of think of it like I'm going into a yoga pose, right? And I have to build my core muscles first, the alignment. My body has to know how to hold the tree pose before I go into balancing in the tree pose. Does that make sense? So for me, in my brain, I think of it as my core muscles. So the alignment are my core muscles that have the strength to be able to put me in balance, right? I don't know. Does that help anybody else? That's kind of how my brain worked. But so I'm going to tell you what the meaning, I Googled not just alignment, because that's could be a car alignment, whatever, which I know Lisa Brown did use that example in our podcast episode, so it is really funny. But so I Googled the meaning of alignment in life. It says, what is alignment? Alignment is when our thoughts, life choices, and direction all honor our core values. Belief spawns body biz. Alignment is when we listen to our intuition and move through the world embodying our true selves. What are your values? This isn't what it says, I'm paraphrasing, but what are your values, right? Who is the person that you want to be? Who's the person that you want to show to the world, right? Share with the world. Alignment is function and action with ease. And I guess I shouldn't say I Googled this. This came from, I will give her credit where credit is due. It came from Elizabeth Dokia. That just happened to pop up, and I liked the definition she gave here. So that is Elizabeth D. Hokia. Anyway, sorry, ElizabethDHokia.com. I will just give you credit where credit is due. So I love that definition of that. It is when our thoughts, our life choices, and direction all honor our core values. So say if I am a mom, and I want to be a mom, and I want to be a good mom and a good wife, and I want to have a good, solid home life for my family, how then can I work, right? If my values are my family, how then can I add work life to that? Well, then you have to start figuring out that's the percentage you're going to give to each of these things, right? That's what I talk about with, you can only give 100%, right? I think of it like a pie chart. Oh, this chair. Ooh, it's like killing my back. I got to sit back. So I think of it like a pie chart. Oh, that's so far away. So I think of things like a pie chart, okay? So you only have 100% to give. So if you separate your life into your 4 core categories, right? There you go. You've got your quadrants. You've got beliefs, bonds, body, biz. So in your beliefs category, how much time or percentage, how much percentage are you going to give to your beliefs, which would be your faith, would be your meditation, would be your, whatever, emotional health, mental wellness type things. How much of that time are you going to give to your physical body, to making sure that you are physically fit, you're getting enough sleep, you're getting enough water, you're getting enough, your hormones are in balance, we talk about that one a lot, you're getting enough nutritious food that will fuel your body, right? And you are active, you're moving your body daily to make sure that you are staying active. So that's body. And then bonds, you are creating these relationships, nurturing relationships that should be nurtured, right? Your family. So for me, if that's an important thing for me, it is my family, right? And I'm going to give a lot more to my family than I'm going to give to friends. However, friendships with women are important to me. The members of my community and the Revitalized Sisterhood are important to me. So I have to adjust of that percentage, how much I'm going to give to them. And then of your beliefs, bonds, body, business. Okay, so business, yes, if I am working, right, because I am working, I have to figure out how much of that constitutes what I need to get done, how quickly it needs to get done, how well I can get it done in that amount of time to be able to give more to my family. So I feel like what she's saying with alignment is your life choices and direction all honor your core values. So if you say to yourself, who is it? I told my girls on my call yesterday, I said, I really, really love that James Clear says it in his Atomic Habits books. And maybe he didn't even say it in the book, maybe because I researched him afterwards and I signed up for his leadership stuff that comes once a week. But he talks about in terms of resolutions, New Year's resolutions and goals. He doesn't really think in terms of goals per se, but he thinks in terms of his values, what his values are. So if I said, I know that first and foremost in my life, I am a wife and mother, right? First and foremost. Before anything else, before any other decision needs to be made, that is the foundation of my whole core, right? Of my whole person. Then I know that if something's pulling me away from my family, from my husband, from my children, so much to the point that that's suffering, that's a bad thing, right? I'm not in alignment because I have already established that my core value is them. And so if something else starts pushing back against them in a way that it's affecting balance, right? We'll get into that. If it's affecting the alignment of it, then obviously I need to pull back away from that. Is this making sense? Whoosh. Sorry, I tried closing everything that would have an alert on it, but it just keeps popping up. Anyway, so let's move on to balance. So, alignment and balance. So obviously, you don't have to be too smart to figure out that I've been struggling with this, right? I've been struggling with being the work mama combined with the travel mama right now. You know, we've been gone for about a month now, and we still won't be home into a couple weeks, and then we leave again. We'll be home for a little bit, and then we leave again to go wherever. I think we're planning on Australia next, but whatever. So it has been, this was my very first throw the baby into the pool and see how they swim kind of, you know. It wasn't dipping my toes in. It was like chucking me into the pool and see how I did. And now I'm seeing where I need to adjust. I need to find discipline. I need to better prepare myself, and that's great. That's all part of learning. That's all part of, I don't feel like I failed. I don't feel like I did a horrible job. I feel like, yes, I see places where I need to strengthen. I see places where things are falling behind in my family and in my work, so I need to adjust. I need to not even make better commitments to myself, but honor those commitments. I've already made the commitments to myself, but I need to honor them better, right? To find that alignment. So balance, let me read you what balance says. So again, I just Googled, what is the definition of balance in life? And it says, and this one's from a website called The Wellness Module, Finding Balance. It's called heretohelp.bc.ca. Anyway, I just want to give credit where credit is due. It means nothing to me. I'm not pushing it. It means nothing. I literally just Googled it, but I just want to make sure I'm not, it's not a copyright, anything like that. But it says, balance means that we can fully engage in what we need or want to do without that nagging guilt. Ooh, windy. Sorry. It's the Santa Anas. No, just kidding. I don't know what that means, but it just got really windy all of a sudden. Okay. Balance means that we can fully engage in what we need or want to do without that nagging guilt or worry that we should be doing something else. Yes, I know exactly what that means. That means when I'm sitting here recording a podcast episode and my kids are down at the swimming pool with my husband. Right? Nailed it right there. Nailed it. No, I feel like I'm fine. It's not a nagging feeling. If it was a nagging feeling, I wouldn't do it. But also, it could be said that it's a nagging feeling that I was yearning for something more, right? I was yearning for more fulfillment. I was yearning for something that was beyond just my home life with my children and my husband. Like I felt like I wanted to make more of an impression in this world, right? So it could be anything. That's just funny that that's what it says. It goes on to say, and it means really understanding our own boundaries and needs so that when we have the freedom to pursue all the various roles and identities we have or want to have in life. Whoa, boom. That was so good. I'm so glad I landed on that because that was amazing. That's beautiful. I'm going to write that down in my planner because I love it. So balance means that we can fully engage in what we need or want to do without that nagging guilt or worry. So and the reason I wanted to talk about this or that it's been on my mind is because I do not think that you can have alignment, you can have balance, you cannot have that without everybody in your world participating in it with you. You cannot be this lone wolf. I couldn't do this without, and I wouldn't want to, man, it would be hard and awful. I couldn't do this without Rick's support. If he every day was telling me that this is horrible and that this is not a good thing for our family, then I couldn't do it, right? I couldn't make this commitment. It would drain me. It would be exhausting. It would kill me from the inside out because it would mean that I'm not fulfilling my agreement to him and my family. But even if you're say a single mom, you have to have everybody on your team in line with what the goals are, right? You have to have your kids in line with what the goals are. Or if you're just a single woman with no kids, you are kind of your own team. But you have to work in a job that aligns with your goals to get to where you want to live in a life that fully supports your beliefs, right? So if you, like my sister-in-law, we were talking about this in regards to get mom guilt when she goes to work and work guilt when she leaves to have to be a mom. And I said, guess what? You wouldn't have applied for a job. Well, you wouldn't have agreed to a job knowing that your values lie with your family, right? That is first and foremost, like I just talked about. She's the same way. And so when you went to this job interview, I'm sure you said to them, I am a mom, first and foremost. And if you need someone that's not going to be interrupted every now and then with sick kids or school pickup or whatever, you need to find someone else. So I said, you probably already had this conversation with this company and you have an understanding with them, right? So there's no need to feel this guilt. The guilt that you're feeling is because you're not putting the proper boundaries, maybe, and you're overextending yourself. So where did I go with that? Anyway, everybody on the team. So even a single woman, man, woman, anybody, everybody that's in your life, on board, in your team, has to be on board with what your purpose is, what your direction is, what your trajectory is, hey, if I start here at point A, I'm going to end up over there at point B, and this is how I'm going to get there. And if you cannot help me with that, if you have to hinder me with that, if you can't be okay with that, then nope, you cannot be part of this team, right? So that's what, and not that I've been struggling with, but I guess, yeah, it is because Rick and I have to find our new roles and we have to find where things fit and where things don't. So there's obviously going to be some shifting and some hurt feelings and some, we got to figure out how to communicate better, and tears, honestly, right? We're human. We are man and wife. Oof. We can fight with the best of them. Don't think Rick and I do not have our days, because we do. And it's a season of life, and it'll work itself out. But what I'm figuring out is if I didn't have the support if I don't have the support of the people on my team, of my kids, of my husband, of my family, anybody that I surround myself with, the women in my community, oh my gosh, they are so supportive. If I didn't have their support in wanting to pursue my own dreams in my own life, and that what that looks like is traveling for my family again right now, and if I didn't have their support and their grace, it wouldn't work, right? I'd be bombing. I would not be able to do this. I have their support, and they give me help when I need it, and I really appreciate it. So yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about, is balance and alignment and balance. So I want you to look at that and think about that in terms of how that works with your life, and how that fits in with what your objectives are, what your goals are, what your plans are for your dream life, for your future that you want to live in, this ideal life, right? Not your past self, not your past life. We're just looking forward, right? We're starting our new monthly topic February 1st, so we're starting our new monthly topic. If you've heard me talk about that before, in the Revitalized Sisterhood, we have a monthly topic and a book of the month that goes along with that monthly topic, and February 1st starts Mindset, and I'm loving it. So I will give you a little sneak peek into it if anybody wants to hear about it. I just had a call with my leaders, my squad leaders yesterday, and we talked about this concept of thought downloads, right? Thought downloads, your powerful mind. Manage your mind, tell your mind what you want it to think. So your thoughts become your results, right? Thoughts equal action or inaction. Thoughts create what you're going to do, right? If you're constantly telling yourself and you're in this vicious cycle of negativity and I can't do this, like if I was doing this with in alignment, I mean, oh my gosh, Lisa actually said it in one of our yoga classes. She actually said the mind believes what the body believes what the mind tells it. Perfect. She said it, nailed it. So if you're sitting there saying, I cannot balance in tree pose, I cannot pull that, I can't do that, your body's going to believe you and you're not going to do it, right? But you can overcome it by thinking, oh, I can do this, I can do this. Obviously, you're not just going to be like fresh out of the, I've never done anything in my life, and all of a sudden you get there and you throw a tree pose. But you can sabotage yourself. You can. It's possible. The mind has so much power over you. So that's what we're getting into this month in the Revitalized Sisterhood, and I'm so excited for it. So anyway, we were talking about thought downloads, and basically the idea behind it is, so say you've got your goal, and you're setting one of your 90-day goals, right? Because that's what we do. We set our goals in 90-day increments. And you're setting this goal, and we'll say it's you want to lose 15 pounds, whatever. We'll say that that's your goal. And what are the thoughts that come into your mind when you're wanting to do that? You're thinking, oh, I can't do this. I've failed at this before. It's too hard. Oh, the weekend's coming up. I don't want to start right now. Maybe I'll start next week. I don't want to go to the gym. Anyway, so these are your thoughts that are, no matter what, I don't care. We're all human. And unless you have really, really, really high self-esteem and confidence, and they're swirling around in there, it just happens. It happens. And so we need to get them out of there, because if you don't get them out of there, and if you don't get them written down and out on paper, they're going to keep swirling around in there, whether you know it or not, and they're going to be back there sabotaging your progress. They're going to be back there. These thoughts are going to be back there sabotaging where your alignment is, right? Where you're trying to find your balance. So your thoughts have to be in alignment with, they have to be your core muscles, your thoughts. Hey, let's bring that in. That's great. That's a great analogy. Your thoughts are your core muscles holding your body for you to prepare to be in balance, right? To be in this tree pose. So anyway, what this thought download is basically you've got to get out all of this negative thinking, right? So I have my ladies in the sisterhood doing, so on this side you've got your column A, which is all of your negative thoughts. This is your thought download. This is your dump. This is just get it out of there, all of these negatives. Okay, so now on the other side of it, this column B, you have got to write the opposite to this thought. So let's see if I have mine right here. Easy, I can just give an example. So, okay. So for one of mine, like I just talked about earlier, is I honor commitments that I make to myself. So what that would be for is I'm unorganized, right? Maybe I can't take on more. I'm unorganized and I'm letting things fall through the cracks. These would be my thought downloads for column A. So in column B, I'm going to write and say, I honor commitments that I make to myself, right? I am an organized person. It's kind of, like the affirmations that you say to yourself every morning. It's the same thing. You're wanting to think of, here's the negative, so I need it, if it's coming in as a negative, it needs to go out as a positive, right? So I need to spin it. Or what's another one I have here? I'm thin and fit and have lots of energy. So on that, for me, it was probably, when I wrote that, I was probably thinking, I haven't been to the gym in so long, like way longer than I normally would. And I'm not keeping up on things, right? I'm letting things run me over, right? Like I'm not staying ahead of things. So that's my opposite to that I tell myself is I'm thin and fit and have lots of energy. So good grief, I'm so sorry. So anyway, I hope you're with me. I hope that wasn't all over the place. It's really funny to be in vacation mode, and I had a really, really, really good call with my leaders yesterday. It was actually the first time that I got to sit down at a table, like write down, just research some thoughts I'm having, write them down, get them out, have a full-on like lesson for them. And it's been about a month since we've been able to do that, and it felt really good. So it's really, really interesting, and I'm figuring out that being on vacation mode, being on travel mama life mode, it's not so easy to be on growth mode and mindset mode and learning and teaching and coaching mode. It's different. It's really different, and it's hard, but I'm figuring it out. So hopefully that was something that you needed to hear today. All about alignment, finding the alignment, right? Let's go back to your positive thoughts, your mindset, your growth mindset, not your fixed mindset, your growth mindset, and your positive thoughts being your muscles, your core muscles that hold you, that give you the strength, the alignment, and then the balance, going into the balance of your tree pose, which is your life, your destiny, the dreams that you want to see living out. Right? Is that what that's what I'm trying to say. So balance means that we can fully engage in what we need or want to do without that nagging guilt or worry that we should be doing something else. Boom. That's so profound. I love it so much. I'm going to write it in my planner. I hope all of you write that in your planner. That was such a good one. Anyway, thank you so much again for following along on our journey. And a moth just blew up my dress. Holy cow. And I appreciate it. I will ask you again, please go rate and review the podcast. I don't ask for much, but I would really appreciate that. Oh, my kids are home. We're shutting the blinds. So rate and review or share this message, please. I don't do ads. I would love it if you just screenshot this on your phone and text it to someone or share it on your socials and tag me in it. I would really appreciate that. Thank you so much for listening and spending your time with me. We'll see you next time.